are good to go. Welcome, teachers. My name is Chad Myers. If you've seen me multiple times today, thank you for joining this session with Jordan and Liz on the benefits of Quizlet Teacher. If you have any questions during the session, if you want to pop them into the Q&A, I'll look at that. I also would strongly encourage the Help Center. But on that note, I'm going to take a back seat and hand it over to Liz and Jordan.
Awesome. Chad, I'll just need you to let us do presentation mode. And we will get started. Great. Give me just a second. Go ahead and get started. Awesome. Thank you guys all for joining the benefits of Quizlet Teacher. I am Liz WInchell. I'm a product specialist in Denver, Colorado. I joined Quizlet almost a year ago, and I use Quizlet pretty regularly to stay on top of my Spanish.
Hi everyone, my name is Jordan. I'm a product specialist based in San Francisco. I've been a Quizleter for just over a year now, and recently actually used Quizlet to prepare for the California driving exam. And yeah, as Liz mentioned, thank you everyone for joining. We're super excited to share with you all how the upgraded teaching experience can enhance your teaching efforts, whether teaching in person, remotely, or a hybrid approach of the two. So thank you again, and Liz will move on to the next slide there.
Awesome. So jumping in to talk a little bit about what Quizlet is. Quizlet empowers students to be their most unstoppable selves. We provide flexible study tools and millions of flashcard sets students can use to take on any academic challenge.
Awesome. Why use Quizlet? As a teacher on Quizlet, you can create and pair class material with Quizlet study tools and games to engage students and help them build towards their learning goals. Leveraging Quizlet can be one part of creating a digital space for your classes that is accessible, feels inviting to students, and propels them to build better study habits and consistently increase their mastery of a subject or topic. Quizlet is free for all students and works across all device types. It is conducive to both teacher-led studying as well as more individual approaches. It can also be uniquely positioned to create students as content creators and owners of their own study journey.
Awesome. With Quizlet, you can create study material to pair with your classroom lectures and curriculum. You can create and share the right content with your students at the right time, be that via textbook, lecture, or discussion. Target the key concepts you want your students to spend more time on by highlighting key takeaways, and help build student confidence and familiarity with the material that matters most. We recommend study modes like Learn and Write, or game modes like Quizlet Live and Match to mix serious learning with fun. By gamifying your students' study options, they are enabled to diversify how they are engaging with your content and decrease the possibility of study burnout. Additionally, they are able to engage with the content on a student-to-student level by starting games of Quizlet Live for individuals.
Perfect. Now that we've briefly looked at how teaching with Quizlet can benefit students and teachers alike, let's unpack the teacher subscription and show how those exclusive features can amplify the experience you and your students have on Quizlet. Awesome. So first things first, for those of you who don't already have a Quizlet account, sign up and indicate that you are a teacher. Cool. Thanks, Liz. And so signing up gives you a free teacher account and gives you a bevy of tools to successfully engage your students with. Building from these core features that you see listed, a Quizlet teacher subscription will unlock enhanced functionality. Awesome. So what exactly does a teacher upgrade unlock? As you can see, whether it is increased customization and engagement or more organization and productivity, these features can aid in making student study efforts more impactful and really add to your ability to gauge their overall understanding and progress. To begin looking at these features more closely, I'm going to pass it back over to Liz.
Thank you, Jordan. A couple examples of the powerful creation tools you have with an upgraded teacher account would be unlimited diagram sets, custom image and audio access, as well as rich text. So, talking a little bit about rich text formatting, it works for bold, underlined, and italics. You can also use multiple colors to highlight keywords and phrases. An example here is an art history set. You can bold main ideas, underline key concepts, and highlight important patterns. This will help students stay focused on what matters most while they are studying. Using a color-coded system can help you save time and memorize things more quickly. For example, here we're using different highlight colors to classify different art eras to help your student form an association between the painting and its time period. When your student is taking a test, that association could lead to a train of thought similar to, I remember that this painting had a pink highlight, so it must be from the 1400 to 1600. Another example of customization is adding multiple diagram sets to your sets to study. Here, we have 3 different types of way to use your diagrams. Identifying places, so seeing a map of the United States, either identifying the state, the capital, or the location. Labeling parts, med students can use the diagrams to label parts of the human body's heart, as well as reading comprehension. So looking at Latin phrases and understanding where things might be coming from and how they will correlate with one another.
Sweet, thanks, Liz. Yeah, so for all of you out there that have used or currently use the Quizlet iOS or Android app, a feature that is exclusive to our apps is the experience of document scanning. So enhancing the creation process, this allows teachers to quickly scan documents and transform that material into content that is ready for students to dive right into. Teachers have found this to be a successful way to ensure that the content that their students are studying is relevant and really pertinent to the curriculum and building from the other activities that they're doing day to day. Awesome. And so now looking at another pillar of the teacher upgrade experience, class progress. Class progress provides teachers with insights as to how their students are engaging with class materials and different study modes across Quizlet. Awesome. Next slide. Thank you, Liz. So class progress, what is it? It's really a great resource for teachers to keep their finger on the pulse of the class and in tune with how students are progressing with class material. It really allows teachers to see study activity as a class as well as on an individual level, really kind of honing in on that set level. So the sets that teachers create and determine that they want to get in front of their students. It's worth noting that any set is available to use with class progress, and it allows you to see high scores for modes such as test, match, and gravity. Sweet. Thank you, Liz. And so to develop a little bit more understanding of what the progress dashboard will tell you, here you can see that you'll understand if your students have started a study mode, if they've completed a study mode, or maybe they've yet to begin. And so for the study modes that you see grayed out, we're clued into that the user the student has not began those efforts. For the ones that are highlighted in black but don't include the green check mark, those students have begun studying those modes but have not yet reached a level of mastery. And for the study modes that you see the green check, that indicates that student has completed that study mode and has arrived at mastery for those terms. And so wanted to call attention to that. Liz, actually, if you don't mind backing up just real quick, another thing that I wanted to call attention to is having the ability, as you can see, called attention with that tooltip, switching, in the progress dashboard between sets, but then perhaps more importantly, being able to toggle, the time frame that you're looking at. And so being able to, have that aggregate data, whether it's, by the day, week, 2 weeks, month, year, this kind of allows you to take a zoomed out look at over a longer period of time, how students are engaging with that material. So again, many ways that you can kind of use the surface level readings here to understand where your students are. Awesome. And then this next slide here, and thinking about, some of the ways that teachers have leveraged class progress beyond, the sort of surface level, seeing, what terms and definitions and study modes that they've already completed, being able to maybe use it as a way to measure participation. We've seen teachers have success using guided study activities within the classroom, and then using class progress as a way to check in and understand not only did their students complete that, but potentially there's some patterns that they're able to connect between all of their students. So really, seeing this as a tool for, further engagement with their students, whether it's a one-on-one, honing in on where that student can focus their study efforts, but then overall just, having that as a source of motivation and really being able to allow the student to see that, hey, this is, the accomplishments that you've had over this period of time, and how can we, unlock that next level. So that's, some ways that we've seen progress kind of taken out of just the dashboard and used more interactively in the classroom setting.
Great. Thank you, Jordan. Lastly, I'm going to talk a little bit about Quizlet Live, team and individual mode. So we have another way to gamify our ways that students will engage with content on the website and ways for them to study, and it is Quizlet Live. Students are now able to play amongst each other, which is a new feature that was launched on April 1st. We pushed for an inclusive remote learning experience outside of the classroom due to COVID. And this will allow, a supercharged instruction. You can create your own teams and control how your students will be split up, as well as use custom audio and allow students to hear the accompanying audio playing during gameplay. Unlike Teams mode within Quizlet Live, students can now play as individuals, but will still be rewarded for accuracy over speed. They get one wrong answer, the student will go back to 0 and have to try again. Individual mode in Quizlet Live is available today for free for all teachers. And to play, you'll need at least 2 students and 6 teams within a set to get started. However, to customize, you will need an upgraded Quizlet Teacher account. And with that concludes our presentation on Quizlet Teacher. I'm going to go back to Chad.
Great. Thank you so much, Jordan and Liz. I will look at the Q&A tool to see if there's any useful questions or questions that you could be used of answering. Let me click the Q&A. We'll click that, and then I'll also make sure I take questions from YouTube. Cool. Okay. Let's see. And so if you haven't added questions to the Q&A tool and you've had it in the chat, I encourage you now to add it to Q&A. It's on the bottom toolbar of this Zoom Hangout. And let me click through here. Will this presentation be available on Quizlet's YouTube? Yes, so all presentations will be uploaded to Quizlet's YouTube channel. And then Jordan and Liz, if you're comfortable sharing your presentation, we'll add a PDF link to this presentation in the description for YouTube.
Absolutely.
And then I'm seeing sessions on, can Quizlet Live be used while remote teaching? Yes, we covered that and we will share more of that. And then here's a question for Liz and Jordan that also in the next session may help support answering. Can you add folders to classes? I have over 300 sets in my class and would love to group some sets into folders like I can do in my teacher profile. This would make it easier for learners to find the linked sets.
So right now, that functionality is not part of the folders and class experience. Without getting too far ahead of ourselves, I know that is something that is on the mind of the team and looking to make that available. So I think the best answer is to say hopefully sooner than later, that will be something that can hopefully help you organize and facilitate your classes more efficiently.
And then so yes, this recording will be available on the Quizlet YouTube channel. And then Jordan or Liz, how many classes can I create as a teacher?
An unlimited amount of classes.
And then, do students have to create an account to monitor their progress?
Yes, they do. Yep, students will need to create a Quizlet account, and then another just good reminder is that teachers will need to add that set that you want to track progress to the specific created class, if that's clear. You'll need to remember to do that in order for the progress to show up on the class page.
And then I will say for our attendees, our next session with Meredith, we'll go over classes, folders, and progress. So I'm seeing a lot of questions about that, so I won't point that in your direction, Jordan and Liz. So let's see, I'm going through teachers are just submitting questions. So let's see, we have over 100 questions. So, Jordan, and this is going to be, or Liz, this is going to be in the next session, but this person typed Jordan, that's why I had said that name, sorry. Can you show how to access class progress from a set? I don't know if you have a demo account that you could show on screen. I'm sure Meredith will show that in the next session.
I think she is showing it in the next session. If it's helpful, we can add how to do that to our presentation when we decide to upload it right before the Help Center, just so you can have that for reference as if you sort of want to refer back to it.
Great. And then, sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Oh, okay, so to add on to that, another question from our teachers is, if your paid subscription expires, do you lose your student data, or can you come back to that data later?
That is a good question that I'm not sure off the top of my head and would like to give a confident answer. So we can take these questions as action items and include an addendum at the end of the deck to clarify any unanswered questions.
And I will say, teachers, huge shout out to Jordan and Liz. They're on our user operations team, and they are the people I go to when I have questions about the product. And I am constantly messaging Jordan and Liz, hey, what's this? What's that? How does that work? So huge shout out to Jordan and Liz. User ops supports a lot of beyond the users. So I think Jordan and Liz, during your presentation, you had mentioned teacher upgrade. And just for clarity, does that mean, and this is a teacher's question, does that mean when you register as a teacher or the paid version? When you say upgrade?
It's the paid version. So you can sign up for Quizlet for free and mark yourself as a teacher. We do have how to do that in the Jordan segment of the middle of the presentation. By upgrading, you unlock all of the customized features that we sort of covered towards the latter end of the presentation.
And then this is another question on payments. I'm at a university. Can I get a batch discount for a lot of teachers?
We do offer group upgrades. We ask that you go to our website to sort of fill out the information that we need to discuss any sort of group discounting.
Right. And then I'm seeing, I don't want to put, if it's not easily accessible for you, Liz or Jordan, but a lot of teachers are asking if you could just show product examples, if you can just show it like what it looks like in the product, we can add that to the set. You don't have to do that.
Yeah, we can add sort of I'm not sure if it's upgraded features, if that's what they'd like to see sort of compared to what the free version would look like. But if that would be helpful, we again can add that to our presentation as well. Again, something so that you guys will have access to and can refer back to.
Great. And then Liz and Jordan, how comfortable do you feel answering a question about Quizlet Live? We don't have a set session on it. So if someone were to ask this, I would direct them to user up. So just wondering, will that be too on the spot?
I love a good challenge. Try me.
Okay. So I think this is pretty easy. This is just setting up Quizlet Live. I'm anxious to try Quizlet Live. Is there a preset number of questions in the Quizlet Live games, or does it automatically quiz all of the terms in the set, parentheses, which could vary, or can the teacher set the number of questions?
That is a great question.
So I'll take a stab at this, Liz. Teachers are unable to select the number of questions, and for larger sets, it will select terms and definitions at random to be included in a game of Quizlet Live.
Yeah, to add to that, your students will kind of continue playing until someone wins. So as students, if they continue to miss answers, they'll be prompted with additional questions from what could be a larger set. You can play individuals with 2 people if you wanted to sort of play around and see what the random questions look like.
Right, so I'm looking at the YouTube Live questions. Okay, so here's a question that I think some teachers just might have missed. How much does a teacher upgrade cost?
In USD?
Yes, here in the US.
I'm just gonna, just making sure that, I believe it is $34.35.99.
And here's a question. I think the answer to this, I'll just lean into the Google Classroom side, but is there any plan to link directly to platforms such as Google Classroom, Canvas, Schoology, rather than just being able to post a link to an activity in the platform?
You cut out on the last part of your question, Chad, but I believe it was, is there capabilities on Quizlet to link other platforms?
Yeah.
We do have Google Classroom. The others, I do not believe we have at this time.
Right, and then I'm seeing a lot of questions about Quizlet Live and asynchronous play. Sorry, we don't have a session on that, but no, teachers need to be able to play that in the class at one time. Even though not together, individuals doesn't meet at any time. So I'm just seeing a lot of questions about that, so I thought I'd address that. Let's see, so they have a lot of questions, Jordan and Liz, for
keep them coming.
Teacher. So is there, and I'm just gonna phrase this easy answer for you. Is there a difference between Quizlet Live if I'm a paid teacher and if I'm a non-paid teacher?
There is a couple features or functionality that paid teachers have is that you can create the teams that you want. So you can match certain students with each other. And then, sorry, there's one other, and of course, on the spot, I am failing. Oh, sorry. And with a paid teacher account, you're also able to incorporate your custom audio into a game in Quizlet Live. So if you'd like your students to hear that audio, when a question is asked or an answer is provided, that is available.
And then this is probably a tag team answer here. And now scrolling through the question, there's a whole section dedicated to, can you share more about multiple choice questions and how that works?
Yeah, it is, it's a new feature. And kind of give you guys some basics on what to expect with MCQs. So we now have custom multiple choice options. They are, I believe this is being rolled out currently. You can add custom options to challenge your students with where the multiple choice options will be randomly ordered each time a student gets a question. And so I think Jordan might be able to add like a little bit more context to how MCQs will work within Quizlet Teacher as well.
Yeah, I know we've got a session actually planned for later in the unconference that'll help unpack that a bit more. But I think just on kind of a high level view, the custom distractors and making sure that, you know, the options that students will be that they'll encounter on a multiple choice question are like very relevant and make students, you know, have to really think about the answer that they're going to provide versus some of the random auto-generated options that populate for the free experience.
Right, and then I think this is just a terminology question, but I'll ask it a lot because I'm seeing a lot of confusion around it. What's the difference between Quizlet Plus and Quizlet Teacher?
Awesome. Yeah, Quizlet Plus is geared for our student population. And so think of it almost, you know, as a kind of comparable enhanced experience for our paid students. So they have some similar functionality like rich text and being able to have more, you know, ability to study with diagrams and custom images. And so, yeah, I think in a very similar vein, but the student side of things compared to teacher.
With Teacher, you'll have access to things like class progress, where you're seeing things on a little bit of a higher level of your students with access. But in terms of customizing the content that you're studying, they're very similar. As Jordan said, custom images, custom audio, diagram, rich text.
And then not a question, but I will be paying for membership. Love class progress. Thanks for the presentation. All right, thought I would.
Happy to hear it.
Sorry, I'm just going through the questions. As I'm going through the questions, Jordan, Liz, is there anything else you want from the user ops standpoint, is there anything else you want teachers to know about Quizlet Teacher that you see a lot of questions or tickets about?
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
I do encourage, if you are asking your students to sign up, maybe prompting them with naming conventions that work for you, adjusting and deleting and getting access to accounts once an account's been deleted, but it's a name that someone wants, can't really be recovered for someone else. So we just see a lot of requests from teachers asking about if we can change student names, we can't, but something that, you know, if you're proactively asking them to sign up for the website, naming conventions would be encouraged.
+1 to that for sure.
And then there's a question from a teacher. I'll just answer this. Someone, will there be training on how to toggle between tools and be as organized as you are? It seems that you're on 2 computers, chat. I am on I have 2 monitors, so good eye on that. To be honest, though, that wasn't a class, that was a trial by error. So best of luck on that. Let's see. So here's a question, a general question. When offering feedback about students' activity in class progress, does the green check mark represent mastery or simply activity completion?
I see. The green check mark on the class progress, does that indicate that they've mastered or if they've completed sort of the segment? My understanding is that they've completed the segment, but I'm not sure if that could also mean master. So that's something that we can find out and add for you, because I don't know if they're mutually exclusive or not.
And then, so a lot of these questions, and then being conscious of time, I want to ask Jordan or Liz, do one of you want to do a scare sheet and just kind of show teachers the Help Center, maybe do a little walkthrough? I'm seeing a lot of questions that I think the Help Center will easily allow teachers to self-service. Would that be a possibility?
Yeah,
I can.
Liz, want to go ahead?
Sure, I'm just opening. I don't have Chrome open right now, so if you have it, Jordan, you might want to go ahead and get started.
Cool. Yeah, let me just get the Help Center pulled up.
I can share if you want.
There we go.
Can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, great. So this is the Quizlet Help Center. What we have are buckets of possible types of questions that you might be coming to the Help Center for: account generalization, billing, studying, teaching, troubleshooting, community, and safety. Additionally, you can go, oh, and then verified creators. You can also go here and look up Quizlet Live. It'll prompt with top article suggestions at the top, and then search results based on popularity by what you're searching. So if you've got questions about joining, go ahead and come here. And we've got instructions for web, iOS, and Android. You might notice that with some of the questions you'll come to the Help Center on, you'll be limited in if it's a web or app related question. There are certain things that are web only and certain things that are app only. So just a call out there. We also hyperlink to other pages and articles within the Help Center. But if you're on a page and you can't find what you're looking for, you can go ahead and click the Ask a Question, and it's going to prompt a little question box here on the bottom right. So I'm accessing through web, and you can type the question here: how to start a game of Quizlet Live. By asking here, it's going to do a search of the Help Center already. You can continue if it answered the question, or you can contact support directly through here. I wasn't sure if there was a follow-up on how to use the Help Center in that ask, but if you're not finding what you're looking for here, you can contact on the bottom right question box, and it will send us an email.
Great. And then on that note, I'll end with one last question. This is a personal preference, Jordan and Liz. A teacher asked, in your humble opinion, which premium feature of Quizlet Teacher do you think is the best? I don't know if that might upset some people at Quizlet, so maybe you don't want to answer, but if you could recommend to teachers which feature they should use, which one would you want?
Personal preference, and if I had access to this as a student, I would have loved rich text, really visual. I think highlighting through an app would have been a major benefit for me in learning.
Yeah, and I think for me, class progress and just, going beyond, assessing or gauging, a student's, familiarity with a topic, really thinking about how class progress can, structure class activities and further action for, students and teachers alike to take. I think there's an opportunity there, whether it be from the most missed terms and kind of diving in on that side of things to like really, have an impactful study experience based off of what we're seeing from progress.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Jordan and Liz. The next session for everyone, like I said in this session, is going to be covered by Meredith, and it'll cover classes, folders, and class progress more specifically. So thank you, Jordan and Liz, for even covering and addressing those topics. But for all the teachers here with those questions, I look forward to seeing you in the next session. And again, thank you so much, Jordan and Liz. It was great to have you. And all the teachers are saying thank you. And you should know when you have questions, these are the leaders in answering them. So thank you.
Anytime. Bye, everyone.
And thank you, everyone, for attending.
Bye, everyone.